After covering the riots in Northern Ireland and seeing firsthand what happens when locals have had enough of mass migration, I made my way to Ireland, a country that's witnessing its record number of immigrants since 2007.
Dublin's a cesspit. There's people coming in here who treat us like third-class citizens.
We're not letting the little bit of steam off, so eventually it's going to explode.
The rabble of communists.
They're traitors to the Irish people.
Get them out! Get them out!
Hi guys, so I'm in Dublin for a national protest here in Ireland. A lot of people are fed up with what's going on in the country. These protests have been happening every single month. The kind of main message today is anti-immigration kind of idea. Hey buddy. So yeah, everyone has come out today. All the different towns. Hey lads. So yeah, as you can imagine, it's going to get very, very heated. It's a similar march that we saw last year, a march to the kind of government building. Yeah, just check it out, guys. Look at the kind of presence we're seeing here. What's your reason for coming today?
To tell the government what we think of them. To tell Sinn Féin what we think of them.
Yeah. What do you think
the government to the country?
Yeah.
There's 14,000 Irish homeless, and there's not one immigrant that's homeless, sleeping on the streets. It's disgraceful. There's a 60-something-year-old man that died down the country that was sleeping in a doorway of a pub. It's a joke. The place is an utter joke.
I'm down here to support the Irishmen because they're our neighbours and we've got open borders, and to try and understand the politics behind it all, because we don't really know who all the different parties is, and I'm just trying to learn from coming here and speaking to people. I'm trying to get the feel of the people as well, of how they think of what's been going on in the last 30 years in Northern Ireland and how things are changing. Yeah. All right, mate. And sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I drove down from Belfast, and obviously there's no checks at those borders. How do you feel that maybe one day we could have checks, it could become militarised, it could be quite political there? What's your thoughts on that changing?
It doesn't need to be politicalised, it doesn't need to be militarised. All we need is Garda and our PSNI watching the border and letting everybody that's Irish nationals through, and anybody that's not Irish nationals just double check. We're not saying we're stopping anybody coming in with brown skin, but it's not hard to work out. Foreigners don't look the same as us, you know. All you got to do is stop certain cars and ask them where they're coming from, where they're going. That's exactly what they've done to us in the last 30 years, you know what I mean? So,
Assimilation! Free migration! Execute the order! Back to the border! Get them out! Get them out! Out!
Hi guys, so the protest is starting to move now. As I said before, it's going all the way to the Common House, the Dáil. And you can just hear the chants behind me, everyone saying whose streets. A lot of talk about getting them out, obviously, talking about illegal migrants who have come into Dublin. A lot of people are saying that they use Dublin to get into the UK, or they use the UK to then cross the border into Dublin. But yeah, guys, very, very rowdy crowd as you can hear. Oh, cheers, thank you. Okay, so yeah, a lot of people here, guys. Let's go.
Concerned citizens, you know, we're not racist, we're not violent. I'm a businessman, a local boy. Just really here to support my community. Yes, we have to help genuine refugees. No issues there. But children, teachers are sleeping at home with their parents because they can't find somewhere to live.
Yeah, how do you feel that right now there's over 15,000 Irish homeless on the streets here? And it seems like
16. I heard 16, and 4 of them are children. Absolute terrible. You know, absolute terrible. You come in here and you're just green flag for everything, while our own people who built the country are struggling, and we are struggling. We're not racists. You know, we're happy to help anyone that's genuine. But, you know, you have to help your own first. Charity starts at home.
But why is this kind of message being tarnished as racist and that far right, as they like to say?
I would use the word concerned parents, and I wouldn't use the word far on anything, but what I would say is we are right.
Well guys, as you can see, the Irish are very, very passionate. It's a lot of, I see a counter parade just ahead of us, guys. I don't know what's going to happen, but just ahead of the road. Hey buddy, how are we doing? Why are we here today? What's the story?
We're here because of mass illegal immigration.
Yeah, I mean, Conor McGregor talks about how Dublin's almost turned into a no-go zone or an unknown city. Do you agree with that?
Dublin's a cesspit. If you come in here at night time, listen, they're on Eden Quay there 3 weeks ago. I seen 2 Algerians fighting. One of them blame pulled down knife, stabbed him 4 times in the stomach, sliced him in the main artery in the leg. He's in a critical condition. I don't know if he's alive or not, but there's another stabbing just here on Talbot Street last night as well. Foreigners again.
So you're kind of feeling like it's almost an imported problem right now that Ireland is witnessing?
Yeah, big problem. Big major problem. What's the crack, Ari? Yeah, big problems we have, yeah.
Here we go, lads, here we go. Guys, I'm not sure we're going to be able to get a few messages from people. There is a big counter-protest here, guys. So yeah, guys, you've got the kind of Antifa crowds just in front of me here. We've got United Against Racism, Palestine flags, as you can see. A big police presence. I don't think we'll be able to get any words from the other side because there's a big gap, as you can tell.
€50. Hey! We got G4 going GPR!
When women's rights are under attack, when trans rights are under attack, when housing rights are under
attack. Yeah, guys, they're calling for women's rights, trans rights. Some argue that those two are incompatible.
When trans rights are under attack.
How do you feel about the counter-protest?
I think that most of them are NGOs. They're funded by the state to stand there, the unions, people before profit. They're letting on that they're for the working class people, but they're not. They're traitors to the Irish people, and they will be held accountable for what they're doing on us people. We've had enough of them. Get them out! 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 Get them out!
How do you feel about this kind of counter-protest today behind us?
Look, they're trying to say that we're racist. We're not racist, people. I said we like people coming in if they're going to toe their line, contribute to the country. Not for people just to come in here and get everything. Our own crowd is blind on the sides of the road. It doesn't add up. This IPAC centre thing is all a big scam. It's a money-making racket for the government and the government pals. Yeah. You can see it, and all the people that are after being threatened, stabbed. What about them people?
Yeah.
The government are backing up, or they're apologising to the Northern Ireland Police Force. What about the victims of all these crimes?
Yeah.
What's happening to them? Doesn't matter. People are sick of it now. Sick of it, honest to God. It's going to just keep going.
Some people argue that Ireland has this almost responsibility to welcome migrants and put them in IPAS centres. Why would you be so against it?
Because it's beside 3 schools, and we want to keep our families and kids and elderly and women safe.
Have you seen a kind of rise in the types of crimes people like to say? Sexual assault's on the rise. It's almost like this imported problem. Have you seen that firsthand?
Yeah, especially with kids and stuff like that. They're trying to take them and stuff, and we're saying no to that.
Yeah. And what's kind of been the response from the government? I know I've seen online as well, shops have had to close down and move elsewhere because of the level of imported crime they're seeing on their streets. Yeah. Has the government had any response to that?
The government are causing the trouble by people having to stand up against the government, so they should just look after their own before they look after the rest of the world.
So today is kind of a message against the government then?
Oh, 100%, yeah. Yeah, we want them gone as well.
Yeah, guys, I've spoken to a lot of people so far, a lot of them sort of feeling that the government themselves are just traitors. They've kind of let this kind of mass migration impact the towns and the cities where they live in. They weren't asked. They feel like a lot of government tax money is being spent on these IPAS centres, equivalent of migrant hotels in the UK, and they're basically just saying that enough is enough. Everyone is really, really passionate. Obviously, you saw on the other side there was a counter-protest. A lot of them saying refugees welcome. You've seen it in every other video. You get those crowds, but the police doing a pretty good job at kind of keeping people separate. I don't know if we're going to see other crowds. Maybe they've kind of put people across this bridge. We'll have to wait and see. Hi guys, it's a bit of a short walk. I don't know if it's going to go any further, I'm not sure, but literally last time I was here, this side of the river, there was tents literally everywhere on this side. This is meant to be like a real hotspot for illegal migration. A lot of migrants that do come here kind of loiter in this part of Dublin. Maybe that's the reason why they did the protest. I think there's also a government building as well. Since last year, Ireland has spent millions on IPAS centres for asylum seekers. Before that, Dublin was covered in makeshift migrant camps. This was the situation just a year ago when I was last here.
This looks pretty rough, to be honest. I've seen videos of what happens along here. It is a little bit rough. All the places I went, even Mount Street when it was at its shabbiest, it didn't feel kind of rough, especially along the canal. It didn't feel dangerous because it's an idyllic situation. There's a lovely river. It's, the worst you could see is the guys had no toilets, so the worst you could see is them going to the loo. But now it's just all built up with barriers. It doesn't look very nice, but this doesn't look very nice.
Where are you both from?
I'm Romania, from Romania.
How many years have you been living in Ireland?
5 years.
5 years, okay.
Yes.
How come you chose to live here on this canal? Why do you decide to live here?
I work in construction, building, and I have some accident, and I lost my rent.
Why do you think people are choosing to come to Ireland compared to other countries, for example, France or Germany?
I was told, for example, I'm sure they are told that how it is here.
Okay.
Because I would never think of Ireland, but somebody told me about Ireland and how it is, and that's how I decided.
By that you mean the things they can offer you?
5 years, yeah.
And I see these trespass and regatta tents. Who's supplying those tents?
Trespass, these are all supplied, generally, majority of them are supplied by an NGO group called the Lighthouse. Initially all the tents were trespass. I think they stopped using trespass tents because of the irony of it all, because, but all the trespass tents would have NGO, the same writing on each tent. Oh, we're being treated, green fascism, blah, 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 all in the same handwriting, obviously done with the same NGO lefties, or their minions, the kids that work for them thinking they're doing great stuff until they see the country in 10 years, the state is going to be in. The NGOs will come around with food, clothes, phones. That's what they get. Two, most of them have 2 phones, iPhones, 2. Great clothes, better dressed than me. They got designer clothes these guys are wearing, you'll see. If you talk to any of them, they got the newest iPhones, designer clothes. Never see anyone scruffy looking. If someone's on the street and we call tapping here. If someone's tapping, they never beg. They never come over and go, oh, we really need this and give us some money and that. The Roma do. The Roma will do that. Show you a baby, do all this poor face. Some of these asylum seekers will. The Irish won't do that. I have to get it out of them. I ask them, are you stuck for anything? They'll say to me, no, I don't have anything. And I go, well, take the name of my channel down on your phone. And they go, oh, my phone was at my tents and that. Until you find that they don't have a phone and they just don't want anything from you. You kind of push them and eventually they have no phone, they need socks, they need tracksuit bottoms that they're just not getting. In terms of Ireland, for food, you can't go hungry in Dublin. You cannot go hungry. You can go from service to service eating. You can literally go from service to service eating. The only thing about that is, at the moment, people are scared to. The Irish homeless, even the guys who are on substances, are scared to go to the places that are giving the food out because they're so dangerous. They've become so dangerous now at this stage.
I stand before you, not in anger, but in unity, calling on every single one of you to rise to one purpose. An Ireland free, an Ireland independent, and an Ireland no longer ruled by Brussels or by a failed Irish coming together government.
Well, guys, check out behind me the kind of crowds. Wow.
Custom House, men and women who dreamed of a free Ireland.
How do you feel about all the speeches at the minute, kind of talking about putting the Irish people first?
Yeah, putting Irish people first. Big grandkids and I have daughters. I just want a safe country.
Is this more for like the women and children, I guess? Is that what people are saying at the minute?
Yeah, like everything. You can't get a house. How we get a house? Everybody's on the waiting list. Can't get a house. No, it's terrible. Like.
They're telling us that anyone can be Irish. But when everyone's Irish, no one's Irish.
I've heard a lot of the chants saying Ireland is full. Do you think Ireland itself is losing its national identity? Do you believe that's under threat right now?
Sure, absolutely. Like, even at this point in time, I know you're English speaking and I'm English speaking, but you talk to the vast majority of the crowd, everyone's going to be nearly English speaking and all that kind of way. So one of the good initiatives that the party has is that we have like an in-house policy of constantly hashing in the Irish language, getting people I wouldn't say fluent, fluency is a very loose term, but getting more proficient in the language, even just conversation amongst ourselves. You probably hear some of the chants that we dish out, slán, 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 awalya, goodbye, 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 and then fáin awalya, stay home, go home, stay home, building a boss, victory or death. We're slowly trying to introduce that type. The National Party has a policy of over the course of it's going to take a while. It's not going to happen overnight, but over the course of a decade, 2 decades more likely, you'd be looking at slowly introducing Gael Scoilena. The Gael Scoilena is like a small primary school. First class would be speaking Irish. That first class group moves to second class. They're introduced to the Irish language, and slowly you're phasing out the use of English in the school system to bringing it into a predominant Irish-speaking school system. And that's going to not solve the problem, but it's going to help create that buffer between people and the rest of the world. Like.
So where do you see this going? I mean, in the future, you saw today there was a counter-protest. If you stand up for Ireland, if you're proud to be Irish, you're deemed far-right, racist. I mean, at the end of the day, those are the kind of people you need to bring on board eventually. How can you kind of, have that kind of dialogue?
Just to shut that down very quick on the head. The rabble of communists, baby-killing, nation-wrecking communists that were gathered up at O'Connell Street are not the type of people we need in the movement or to bring into the movement. What they're doing up there is actually doing us a favour, and long may it continue, because as long as they're standing up there saying Ireland for all, how's everyone? Everyone's Irish, fantastic. They're doing the job for us, and the more people see, like if you go around the crowd here and you have interactions with people, you're going to find a lot of people that's their first time here. Yeah. A family or a friend brought them, children, yeah. That kind of way. Someone brought them this time, and why did they come? Because they're seeing what they're doing. Yeah. They're seeing the rhetoric that they're pushing out, and they're going, I need a home. I need a political vehicle that represents me. There's this rally in Dublin on the 22nd, let me go to that. And then they come, they see the uniformity of the National Party, they hear the message of the National Party, they see the banners, there's going to be leaflets dished out, and they'll know who the party is. And it's always encouraged that more people get active, get involved with the party, because the only way we're actually going to win is by taking political power.
So as you can see behind me, guys, a lot of people are getting riled up. I just spoke to that guy. He's got a little leaflet here, and obviously on the back of it is remigration. You've seen with these nationalistic parties, a lot of them are calling for remigration and almost feel that the national identity is being lost. But here, guys, there's been lots and lots of speakers here, as you can see behind me.
Just to go back to Defoe's comments on the tricolour, this country simply cannot sustain any further increase in population.
These protests are saying the same things we already know, right? Honestly, we need to have a strong party. These people know this. And if they don't have any action, I won't be coming back. Do you understand? Because I've been to all of them. So they need to have a good plan. Tell us the plan, and we'll take the country back.
Oh, look, I was asked to proudly speak here today at this fantastic national movement now of, there must have been over 100,000 Irish people coming out in protest and solidarity, a peaceful protest against this cobbled together Irish government who have betrayed their own Irish people. We're just coming out now and making a stance, and this movement now is taking legs again now after today.
Yeah, I've spoken to a lot of people today, and I think a recurring word today was concerned. Everyone is concerned in their towns and cities.
They're concerned, and what we're seeing now is it's after what happened in Ballymena with the girl being raped. The child was horrendous. That north and south of this island now, Protestants and Catholics are now coming together to unite, and this is the big thing, because for years, like our British government, the British government and the Irish government and Sinn Féin have created such a divide and division in between north and south, that now in a crisis like this, because the people in the north of Ireland don't want these illegal migrants either, and we're now going to unity is the big thing key going forward now. And if what happens in the riots in Ballymena happens down here in Dublin, we're, I believe, only a petrol bomb away from reigniting old flames.
That has been echoed through various people I met today, that it's a cauldron. Or as a metaphor, if you can imagine a pressure cooker, then you're letting a little bit of steam off all the time. We're not letting the little bit of steam off, so eventually it's going to explode. Do you get me? In terms of war, it's not about kind of going, let a bit out, it's just bang.
People seem to forget about Roderick O'Gorman. He was our Minister for Integration. He is one of the biggest problems that brought these invited migrants into this country. We're a very hospitable country. It's not about us being racist or anything like that. The Irish people are being ignored. Our services, our council houses are being given to illegal migrants. We've had enough. The 16,000 homeless souls walking the streets, Irish people walking the streets here in Dublin, throughout the country, and
they seem to care more about the people in Palestine, Micheál Martin, than the own Irish people, you know, which is very sad.
Where do you see Ireland going in the future?
I don't see a future if we're going to be overrun by invasion. This is like what they call the Trojan horse. They bring in people by night and invade your country. The government had no mandate from the people for that policy. We do reserve the right to who comes into our country, especially some of the undesirables that have been brought in here. Convicts, rejects of their own country, and people that are causing social problems every day we live. And our people are afraid to go out in the evenings. They don't feel safe anymore.
All right, guys, so the protest is just finishing up here in Dublin. As you can see behind me, people are just dispersing. The stage has been dismantled. But yeah, very, very peaceful protest here in Dublin today. Nothing really did kick off. You saw the kind of counter-protest, the flags, Free Palestine, trans flags, the usual sort of things you see. And then on here is very much the tricolours, flying the Irish flag. But yeah, guys, this was Dublin. I'll see you for the next one.